Talk Money.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Money. I'm your host, Surabhi Upadhyay. It's the middle of December, which means it's holiday season. Now, many of you would have already planned your travel and vacations, and those who haven't are probably looking forward to booking their first trip of 2025 early in the new year. Yes, the travel bug has bitten us all, and it's perhaps here to stay. So how can we plan smarter for our travels and our holidays? What are the hottest destinations of 2025? And while we research enough on the hotels and the experiences that we want on that dream trip, do we pay enough attention to travel insurance? Yes, you got it. It is the travel special edition of Let's Talk Money. And helping us plan our 2025 Wanderlust better are Mohit Joshi of Skyscanner and Priya Deshmukh of ICICI Lombard. Ladies and gentlemen, great to have both of you on the show. Thank you very much for joining in. And I don't know if both of you have booked your trips or if you're big travel enthusiast yourself. Mohit's joining us all the way from London this morning, right?
Yes, hi, good morning. Good morning. Lovely to see you all.
Priya, what about you? Are you a big avid traveler yourself?
Well, I do travel, and thank you for having me on the show, and good morning to everybody.
All right. So, we want to start with some broad brush trends of, what the qualitative and quantitative aspects tell us. Yes, we know our friends, our family, everyone's traveling more. But Mohit, you tell us, I mean, you guys on Skyscanner, you're looking at all of these searches, all of these bookings day in and day out. So what has 2024 brought forward when it comes to Indians traveling?
Yeah, it's an exciting time for travel at the moment. 2024 was all about cultural exploration. So we saw a shift in the Indian traveler mindset, moving from just going to a new country to escape to actually going there to immerse themselves in the culture, right from gig tripping, which is going to see your favorite artist perform somewhere, to actually going to some iconic landmarks that they've seen on a TV show. So we've seen that shift in 2024. And moving on to 2025, the desire for travel remains really strong. 86% of Indian travelers want to spend the same or more on flights, and 80% of Indian travelers want to spend the same or more on hotels, which shows there is a big interest in travel for next year. We've also seen some travel trends that have come out through some number crunching that we've done, through a survey that we've done. And then we've highlighted 7 travel trends, one of them being sport mode, which is essentially traveling to see your favorite athlete or to support your favorite team. We've also looked at art venture, where there is a big focus on Indian travelers wanting to go and experience immersive art. Reset jetters, which is another one, which is all about wellness-based traveling, taking some time off to disconnect. That continues from 2024 into 2025. And then there are a few more which talk about astro adventures, which is wanting to go and see the aurora borealis, the northern lights. Tromsø in Norway has come out as one of the trending destinations where you can go and see them. And then there are a few like gamey vacation. We've seen a lot of interest from Indian travelers wanting to go to location that they've either played on a game, or it also kind of reflects on some e-sport events that they want to go for. And the last couple being horticulture, which is wanting to experience the cherry blossoms, and last the cowboy core, which is just having an experience of a farmhouse stay. So that's the various travel trends we've seen going into 2025. And if we talk just about 2024, for December itself, we've seen the top searches for people, Indian travelers wanting to travel, have been Goa, Bagdogra, Kochi, Dubai, and Almaty. These are the destinations for December.
My God, I'm already getting major FOMO, Mohit, because of all the trends that you described, from the cherry blossoms to the northern lights and so on and so forth to the wellness retreats. We want to do them all, right? Actually, not one. We want to do as many as possible in every given year. But then budgets are finite, so we have to work with what we have. I'll come back on some of the individual trends in just a bit. But Priya, you tell us now, clearly all this is happening. But what about when you see it through a financial lens? Has it meant better business for you as well when it comes to the travel insurance segment?
Absolutely. And, quite frankly, I'm quite fascinated to hear what Mohit said. And you have an example in me who's traveled to Japan just for the cherry blossoms.
Wow.
It's amazing to see what's happening across the globe and how the travel trends and tourism is coming back. We have around 15 million Indian nationals who have traveled in the first half of 2024. And we expect, a total 80, million traveling throughout the year of 2024. So the travel trend is back. We did see some slowdown during the COVID season. Post-COVID, it has come back with great, amazing progress. And alongside the travel season and people going for experiential, travel destinations and all the, fancy names that Mohit mentioned, even the insurance sector, the financial insurance sector has moved that along the side in the curve of how people have chosen destinations and travel, planning. And it's really fascinating to see how the growth has happened. There's a CAGR of around 14% that we've observed. And by 2040, we're seeing explosive growth of almost 50% of the total travel tourism insurance that's going to come our way.
So the travel insurance industry seems to be growing at these big numbers, 40, 50%.
Yeah.
Because of the boom in travel.
It's a reflection of how people are choosing to travel internationally as well as domestically.
So Priya, I mean, just a question on the trends from this year. Now, travel insurance tends to be a very minuscule percentage of the overall trip cost, right? Probably 0.001%. So in terms of the premium trends in 24, what have we seen so far? Are premiums going up, going down? What should we expect?
Well, when you talk about a travel product, while it's a minuscule of the cost of the total travel planning that a consumer would do, it will all depend on the country, the duration of stay, what kind of stay plan that you have, and features of are you going for a adventure sport kind of an activity. So it will all depend on that. But with the growing volume of business and the way the penetration is increasing and more people are being aware because of two reasons. One, the treatment cost in locations or destinations that people are traveling, as well as the peace of mind. Typically, 50,000 USD sum insured for an aged customer of around 50 years would the premium would range around 10,000 odd rupees for a gold plan, and a more comprehensive and very all-inclusive program would cost around 15,000 odd. So that's quite the range in which you would see the travel insurance products being.
Fair enough. So they're not sort of shooting through the roof, not expecting a very huge surge in travel premiums, right? That's good to hear. I'll come back on it in just a bit. But Mohit, again, to talk about the trends and the costing part, now people are traveling irrespective of the cost, but the fact is that costs are going up, right? You look at flights to Europe throughout 2024. I remember, I mean, pre-COVID, I took a flight to one of my dream destinations in Europe for some, 50K for a return ticket, and now that number is going towards 75,000, 80,000. So in terms of just costs for this sort of international travel, what are we in for in 2025?
Yeah, it's a really good point. Cost of living is still top of mind for Indian travelers. Like Indian travelers prioritize the cost of flights, cost of hotels, even the cost of food of the destination that they are going for. But having said that, the rising middle class and the increase in travel spend that individuals have now, and also visa access becoming slightly easier in many of the locations, continues to drive the interest among Indian travelers. An interesting fact we also found out was 66% of Indian travelers are planning to travel more in 2025. So that shows that although cost is top of mind, they want to continue to travel into the new year. And having said that, what we are seeing is airlines increasing their networks. There's a lot of there's a lot of low cost airlines having competition. And because of this additional networks to different destinations, what we'll see in 2025 is the prices stabilizing further. And to meet the demand of Indian travelers, we expect more routes to start beginning, which will also stabilize the prices further.
That sounds really good. Actually, you know what, Mohit, we're playing a graphic right now from your report that highlights some of the maybe most wallet-friendly or budget-friendly destinations for 2025. Yeah, we've got them on the screen now. Oslo, London, Doha, there's Seoul, there's Baku, where there's a slight drop, and there's Kazakhstan, where there's a big drop, actually, 44% drop in airfares. Can you tell us a little more about it? I mean, this is what, average of how many months, and can we project this into the new year? We all want to believe that, yes, airfares are not going to go through the roof. So what are the destinations to look at?
Yeah, those numbers are very exciting for us as well. That is why we wanted to highlight them to our Indian travelers. Like seeing Almaty in Kazakhstan having that 44% reduction in price year on year over 12 months is really exciting because it shows that Indian travelers want to go and experience the culture, which takes back to the point I mentioned about cultural exploration. It's also about going to destinations which are more pocket friendly, and stronger rupee plays quite important in this. And we also see the visa access, which is becoming easier for Indians to traveling to these destinations. And because of that, the airlines are having more networks to these routes. And because of that, we see the average fare prices dropping significantly. And you see Almaty in Kazakhstan known for its culture and really good landscapes. We also saw Jakarta in Indonesia, which is a wellness retreat. We see some really stunning beaches there as well. Same with Singapore. It's getting popular every year because of what it offers to the Indian travelers.
Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting. So Mohit, before we let you go, give us more hope. You guys have done a top destinations list as well, I think. And I was very proud to see, I think Shillong features on that list of top destinations of 2025, right? So tell us how you compiled that list and, any hacks, any tips for better planning, more sort of budget-friendly planning. How can we have happier holidays in 2025?
Yeah, I was really excited to see Shillong as the #1 destination for Indian travelers in terms of searches. So what we saw in terms of the data crunching we did was which destination has seen an increase in searches compared to the previous year. And Shillong saw a tremendous increase of over 800% for Indian travelers. Shillong, also known as the Scotland of the East, pristine lakes, beautiful landscapes, easy access, obviously no visa issues for us Indian travelers. So I wasn't surprised to finally have an Indian city on that list. Baku continues to be really strong in the top 10 at #2, which gives you an affordable European experience, easy to get to as well, and easy visa access. Tromsø in Norway also makes the top 10 of the list, which is known for seeing Northern Lights and Aurora Borealis. And then you can see Tashkent in Uzbekistan, also known for its culture and beauty, that's drawing Indian travelers. So these are the different destinations we've seen based on what Indian travelers have been searching on the Skyscanner website and app.
So how many of them have you covered, Mohit? And which ones are you heading to in the new year?
Definitely Tashkent in Uzbekistan is on my go-to list for sure. Unfortunately, I haven't been to Shillong as well. So Shillong should be there in my #1 list as well. So can't wait to cover both Shillong and Tashkent very soon.
Fantastic. Well, we wish you good luck with that plan. And thank you very much for joining in. This gives us plenty of food for thought and, plenty to think and plan about and get excited about in the new year. Travel, always top of mind. Thank you very much for giving us the Skyscanner perspective.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, with that, we have to take a very quick break. We'll come back on the other side. And now that we know which are the hottest destinations to get to, the question is you need to pay a lot of focus and attention to the travel insurance part. It's more than just a quick checklist before you're heading to the airport. We'll tell you why. Priya will give us more details on this in just a bit.
Let's talk money.
Welcome back. Here with us on Let's Talk Money. And this week, it's all about travel, how to plan better, plan smarter, and how to ensure that you have the right kind of travel insurance as you're rushing out towards the airport. Priya Deshmukh is with us in the studios. She's from ICICI Lombard, and she's helping us understand all the nitty-gritties of a travel policy. Typically, I admit this is the last thing people sort of look into, which is why we're here to ask the questions, Priya. So what all does a travel policy cover? I should know beforehand, right? Rather than landing up in a problem outside and then figuring out, okay, does my policy have this or not?
Absolutely. One of the surveys by Global Travel Trends report, 50% of people travel, book their tickets 14 days in advance. and almost similar numbers buy insurance in the last 2 days of the travel that's planned for. So it's very much of a last minute kind of a affair.
Yeah.
But it's very critical for people to understand that the country that they're visiting, what is the kind of healthcare system, how are things, and in order to really avoid the last minute, hassle or any issue that is caused because of any medical emergency or non-medical, situations of loss of baggage or mugging or any kind of other mishaps, it's important to really buy insurance and know what all your insurance plans really covers.
So does the insurance plan cover something like mugging as well?
Yes. I mean, almost, 30% of Indians that take trips, there is a situation where they have had issue with mugging, any fraudulent payment, other challenges. I mean, those are common issues that travelers really experience. There are, instances where people get tricked. So all of these elements are covered as part of non-medical coverage in the travel insurance plan.
Okay.
So you have the basic critical, vanilla offering of medical insurance, any kind of emergency, any hospitalization for that matter, any kind of personal accident. But at the same time, you have loss of baggage, loss of passport, all those kind of issues also covered as part of the offering.
So are these plans fairly standardized across the industry, or do you have to be very careful and go through all the conditions? Because maybe ICICI Lombard is offering, maybe someone else is not. The reason I'm asking is that, we don't typically pay so much attention to what all is covered.
See, in the zest of travel, and most of the travel is either for leisure or study or maybe work-related travel, people tend to really miss out and pay as much attention that one would need for a travel insurance plan. And the travel insurance plan choice would essentially depend on the destination, as I said, what kind of long stay or a short stay, what is the family combination that is traveling, and what is the infrastructure in the city, what are the local, situations or scenarios that are going to impact either health or, non-health kind of situations that the traveler may face. And hence, it's extremely important to go through the details of what your policy covers, what are the critical exclusion lists, and also be familiarized as to, if at all there is a claim to be made, what are the processes to really go through, if one has to go through that, scenario or a situation.
No, absolutely. So which is why I was asking that all the things that you kind of listed out, which is a medical emergency, which is a non-medical emergency, which could be loss of baggage, which could be things like, mugging or theft or, loss of documents. Do most insurers in the average travel insurance policy, do most insurers cover this?
So there's something called as basic cover, and now new age products cover multiple other features. So there is a bare minimum medical emergency and loss of baggage kind of feature. However, there are a lot of novelty kind of features that have been added by new age insurance companies like ourselves. So you have adventure sport, you have visa service. So you apply for a visa, your visa gets rejected. So your insurance covers the entire processing fee. So that's something new. Adventure sports was always excluded, but now it's all about experiential, traveling, and it's important for you to really have that assurance and that, security. So there are plans which are very, very customizable. They can be personalized depending on the need for your travel, the stay, the number of days that you're staying in a particular country, the requirement that's there. So the newer plans, the new age plans do have customization options available, and it would have impact on your coverages as well as the cost of travel insurance premium that you would.
So got that, Priya. Now to go back to the example that you gave earlier about a 50-year-old traveling to any international destination, right? You said the cover there would be around 10,700, but that's for a 180 days of foreign stay, correct?
Correct. That's right. I mean, that's a long stay. You could have programs where you're going for a leisure trip,
like 2 weeks or
2 weeks or all. So you have a different kind of premium, which is much, kind of smaller compared to what I mentioned. And depending on the country that you're going, it would again differ. And the premiums are really, really very economic.
Even for something like adventure sports and all the funky
stuff? There's a little bit of layer of risk out there, and you load up, as an insurer, you would load up the premium, but still it would be much, much cheaper.
So ballpark estimates, say a 2-3 week trip, the basic cover, which includes your medical emergency, loss of baggage, and throw in that adventure cover. So how much would it cost?
6,000 to 7,000 range is the premium that you would have for a 2-week, travel. And some of these add-ons that are, I mentioned just now would be the ballpark number.
Okay, Priya, so that's really helpful. Finally, now sum it all up for us. What are the things that we should check, read, ask before buying travel insurance?
As we discussed throughout, travel insurance is one of the most important and core, requirement when somebody is traveling either for leisure or business or any kind of tour. And the last thing you want is to be stuck by any kind of a situation and get caught in the middle of a problem. Having said that, in travel insurance is to give you assurance, peace of mind. One must check what are the exclusions and inclusions depending on the, what kind of coverage do you have, what country you're traveling. If you're traveling to a country like US or Europe or any other country, having high amount of, medical expenses when it comes to medical emergencies, you've got to really make sure that you have adequate sum insured. Check the start date and end date of your travel insurance policy depending on the travel dates that you're traveling. Also the geographical scope in terms of coverages, restrictions and exclusions, and familiarize yourself with the claim process. And depending on your requirement and need, certain add-on new age covers that are there, whether it is sports and adventure, car rentals. We've seen almost 20% of people who travel abroad now prefer to have, rental cars. So to cover that bit of any kind of damage or any mishap, you have insurance cover add-on. So such kind of add-on covers align to your itinerary on your leisure and the trip that you're planning. You have to really make sure that all of that is kind of concerted and kind of aligned with your plan.
Priya, that's a really important point. And before we go, we must ask you, in the event of a mishap, something gets lost, you lose your phone, you lose your documents, God forbid a medical emergency, what's the process? What do? You call back to India? How does the claim happen? Explain the process.
So in case of a non-medical emergency, like a flight gets cancelled or there is a baggage loss, so we have an auto tracking mechanism and auto claim reimbursement or kind of payoff to the consumer, so it's completely hassle-free. The last thing we want our travelers or insured members to really worry about: how do you claim in case of travel being cancelled because of trip cancellation, which is very well available as information, and we have integration to really get that info transmitted. Similarly, talking about medical emergency, we have our partners across the globe. There are plans worldwide cover. There are certain geographical specific plans that you buy. We have a clearly mentioned phone line number. Our application. Yeah, we have an application wherein the consumer can go in and just dial that, toll-free number, connect with a partner, and the whole end-to-end hand-holding of the whole process will be taken care by a partner. So this is a 24/7, facility that is available in case of emergency, any kind of, transmission from, or rather any kind of transit that has to be arranged from one location to another. If there is an accident, a person has to be moved from that particular location of an accident to the nearest facility. All of that, ambulance services and any kind of support to offer, all of that is being managed by our partners.
And how quick is this whole
process? It is emergency response, and in case of emergency, it would range anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the criticality of the situation. So we have partnerships across the globe, whether it is a hospital partnership or any other network partnership. Those are in place for us to support our customers.
Very, very reassuring to hear. But hopefully we don't need those services when we travel, but always good to be secured. Know that you're covered in case of any eventuality. Priya, very, very helpful conversation. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Wish you a fabulous 2025. More travel, more joy, and more secure trips ahead.
Thank you.
All right, with that, it's a wrap on this week's edition of Let's Talk Money. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again with the final countdown, the final episode of 2024 coming up next week.
Let's Talk Money